forward in the future to working with you as sovereign.
If you disobey the rules, you get cut off. Could we please remove the flags? Mr. Farage, could we remove the flags, please?
That's it. It's all over. Finished. It's gone.
Could I please ask for quiet?
Starmer arrested. Rumours confirmed Starmer has been charged for misappropriation of public funds and related offences. More rumours are swirling around Keir Starmer, stirring speculation and raising questions in political circles and among the public alike. It's important to be absolutely clear from the outset, there is no evidence, nor any credible suggestion, that Starmer himself is involved in any wrongdoing. However, the controversy centres largely on Peter Mandelson, a long-time figure in Labour politics and a known associate of Jeffrey Epstein. Mandelson's connection to Epstein is well documented. He was not only a friend of Epstein's but reportedly stayed at one of Epstein's apartments even after Epstein had been imprisoned. This association has reignited intense scrutiny, especially as people increasingly question the extent of Starmer's relationship with Mandelson and, by extension, whether any of Epstein's murky dealings might have intersected with Starmer's political trajectory. Many have been asking pointed questions. Does Starmer's name appear on any of the flight logs for Epstein's private jet? Did he ever visit Epstein's infamous island? While it is hoped and strongly believed that Starmer has no connection to such activities, the mere presence of these questions highlights how damaging association by proximity can be in politics. The fact that Mandelson maintained ties with Epstein long after the latter's imprisonment has fueled public frustration. Many are left wondering why these figures continued their friendships without apparent concern for Epstein's well-known reputation and alleged criminal behavior. What complicates matters further is Mandelson's significant role in advancing Starmer's career, particularly his rise to the leadership of the Labour Party and his current position as Prime Minister. Mandelson, still a key player behind the scenes in Labour politics, was recently appointed ambassador to the United States. This appointment replaced a highly capable diplomat who had served in that post for quite some time, and some critics suggest it was a reward for political loyalty rather than merit. The connection between Starmer and Mandelson is obvious to those who follow political affairs closely. They are known to speak frequently and maintain a friendly relationship. While such connections are common in politics, the shadow cast by Epstein's notoriety means that any association with Mandelson invites intense scrutiny. It is crucial to reiterate that there is no direct accusation against Starmer, and no evidence linking him to Epstein's crimes. However, the lack of outright denial or detailed clarification from Starmer's camp has left a vacuum that allows rumours to thrive. In the world of politics, silence is often interpreted as evasiveness, and the so-called never complain, never explain approach that works for the royal family can be perilous for politicians, especially for those like Starmer, who are still fighting to build trust and credibility with the electorate. Trust, once broken or questioned, is difficult to restore. Starmer has faced challenges in maintaining a positive public image, and these swirling rumours threaten to further erode confidence in his leadership. The electorate, already skeptical of politicians in general, looks for transparency and accountability. Without proactive communication to dispel doubts, suspicions can harden into damaging narratives that are difficult to shake off. Critics argue that Starmer should come forward to address these rumours head-on. A clear and unequivocal statement denying any involvement or knowledge of Epstein-related activities could help lay these speculations to rest. Instead, the current strategy of non-engagement risks feeding the rumor mill, allowing conspiracy theories and unfounded allegations to gain traction. Political observers note that in today's fast-moving media environment, silence is rarely a safe refuge, rather, it often signals weakness or concealment. On the other hand, supporters of Starmer emphasize the importance of focusing on facts rather than innuendo. They stress that the Labour leader's record and policies should be the centre of public debate, not baseless allegations rooted in guilt by association. These supporters urge the public and media alike to exercise caution and refrain from jumping to conclusions without substantiated proof. Meanwhile, opposition voices seize on the controversy as ammunition in the ongoing political battle. They frame Starmer's links to Mandelson and Epstein as emblematic of a Labour Party out of touch with ordinary voters, too cosy with elite circles and questionable characters. This narrative, whether fair or not, resonates with parts of the electorate disillusioned by establishment politics and hungry for greater integrity. The shadow cast by Epstein's global scandal continues to reverberate, affecting individuals far beyond those directly implicated in his criminal activities. In this climate, any political figure connected, even indirectly, to people involved with Epstein faces heightened scrutiny and pressure. The Starmer-Mandelson connection is a vivid example of how past associations can have lasting repercussions in the present political landscape. As this story develops, the public and political commentators alike await clarity. Will Starmer take steps to confront the rumors and restore faith, or will the silence continue to foster uncertainty and distrust? The answer could have significant implications not only for his leadership but for the Labour Party's future and its standing with voters. In an era where political reputations can be made or broken by perception as much as by policy, navigating these turbulent waters requires both transparency and strategic communication. For now, the swirling rumors remain just that, rumors, but the longer they linger without clear resolution, the more they threaten to overshadow the substantive issues facing the country and its leadership. As this narrative unfolds, it underscores a timeless lesson in politics: associations matter, perceptions matter, and in the court of public opinion, silence often speaks louder than words. Keir Starmer and his team will need to consider carefully how to address this challenge if they are to preserve the trust they have been striving to build. The association between Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein is not a trivial matter. Epstein's criminal activities, which have included allegations of sex trafficking and exploitation of minors, have cast a dark shadow over many public figures, even those who had no direct involvement in his crimes. Mandelson's friendship with Epstein, and his decision to stay at one of Epstein's apartments after Epstein had already been imprisoned, raises serious questions about judgment and the kind of company political figures keep. Mandelson is widely regarded as one of the Labour Party's most skilled political operatives, a man who has played a pivotal role in shaping modern Labour politics. His career has been marked by both impressive influence and controversy, and this latest association only adds to the complexity of his legacy. Despite stepping back from frontline politics, his recent appointment as the UK's ambassador to the United States demonstrates that he remains a significant figure with considerable clout within the party establishment. Critics argue that Mandelson's proximity to Starmer helped smooth the path for the latter's rise to Labour leadership, and eventually to Prime Minister. Whether this is true or not, the optics of their relationship, combined with Mandelson's Epstein ties, have been exploited by political opponents and conspiracy theorists alike to cast doubt on Starmer's integrity. While there is no evidence that Starmer himself has engaged in any misconduct, the public's growing fascination with the Epstein saga means that any connection to Epstein associates will inevitably be scrutinized. The timing of these rumors is also noteworthy. Coming at a period when Starmer's leadership is under intense pressure due to policy challenges and public dissatisfaction, such rumors can have outsized effects on his political capital. The Labour leader has struggled to consolidate broad public support, and trust deficits in his leadership style have persisted. In this context, the whisper campaign linking him tangentially to Epstein-related controversies threatens to distract from his political agenda and to undermine the efforts of his government. Political commentators have noted that in the age of social media and rapid information dissemination, rumors, whether substantiated or not, can quickly take on a life of their own. The Epstein case, with its international notoriety and high-profile figures involved, has become fertile ground for speculation and suspicion. The involvement of someone like Mandelson, who remains an influential figure in Labour, naturally invites questions about other connected individuals, including Starmer. Despite repeated denials from Starmer's team and no direct evidence implicating him, the silence on these specific rumors leaves a gap that opponents are eager to exploit. A proactive approach, some analysts suggest, would involve Starmer addressing these issues transparently, perhaps through a public statement or detailed briefing, to shut down speculation once and for all. The absence of such clarity has allowed a vacuum to grow, one filled by speculation, misinformation, and conspiracy theories. This situation also highlights broader questions about the standards to which public officials are held, especially in the wake of scandals involving elite networks. How much responsibility should a politician bear for the actions or associations of their close advisors or allies? While the principle of individual accountability is fundamental, in politics, the perception of judgment and association can be as damaging as any proven wrongdoing. Starmer's predicament illustrates the delicate balance modern politicians must maintain. They must not only govern effectively but also manage perceptions and associations carefully. The Epstein connection, however remote, serves as a potent reminder that past associations can resurface and cause significant political damage if not managed properly. Moreover, the story sheds light on the broader culture within elite political circles, where powerful figures often maintain long-standing personal and professional relationships. Such networks can facilitate political advancement, but they also risk exposing politicians to the fallout from their associates' misconduct or controversial histories. This dynamic has fueled public skepticism about the transparency and ethics of political leadership more generally. The ongoing debate about Starmer and Mandelson also ties into a larger conversation about how political parties handle internal discipline and accountability. Labour, like many parties, has faced criticism over the years for how it manages controversies involving its senior figures. The Epstein-related rumours expose potential weaknesses in how the party communicates with the public and handles reputational risks. Public opinion remains sharply divided. Among Starmer's supporters, there is a strong belief that the rumours are politically motivated attempts to damage his credibility and distract from his government's policy work. These supporters argue that focusing on unproven allegations only serves to undermine democratic debate and stoke unwarranted cynicism. Conversely, detractors argue that Starmer and the Labour leadership have not been forthcoming enough. They claim that the lack of clear denials or transparent disclosures fuels suspicion and erodes trust. For them, the unresolved questions about Mandelson's connections and Starmer's relationship with him raise legitimate concerns about judgment and transparency. Media coverage of the issue has been intense, with some outlets focusing on sensational speculation while others have sought to maintain a measured approach emphasizing facts and the absence of direct evidence. This split in media narratives reflects broader societal divides over trust in political institutions and the appetite for investigative scrutiny. The political implications are significant. Should the rumours continue to gain traction without clear resolution, they could impact Labour's electoral prospects, particularly as the next general election approaches. Opponents will likely continue to use the story as a weapon to question Starmer's leadership and character. Meanwhile, Labour will have to weigh the risks of addressing the rumours head-on versus ignoring them and hoping they dissipate. The Epstein scandal has had a lasting impact far beyond the initial revelations. It has exposed vulnerabilities in political, financial, and social elites, and continues to serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and secrecy. For politicians like Starmer, the key challenge is navigating these treacherous waters while maintaining focus on governance and public service. In the final analysis, the swirling rumours about Keir Starmer, Peter Mandelson, and Jeffrey Epstein underscore a fundamental truth about politics in the modern age: perception often shapes reality. The court of public opinion is unforgiving, and even the appearance of impropriety can cause lasting damage. How Starmer responds to this challenge may well define his political legacy and shape the trajectory of British politics in the years to come. The persistent whispers linking Keir Starmer to the periphery of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal, primarily through his association with Peter Mandelson, represent a significant reputational challenge for the Labour leader. While the article is careful to stress the complete lack of direct evidence implicating Starmer in any wrongdoing, the very existence of these rumours highlights the insidious power of guilt by association in the current political climate. Mandelson's well-documented ties to Epstein, particularly his decision to maintain contact even after Epstein's imprisonment, fuels public skepticism and creates a fertile ground for speculation, regardless of its factual basis. The public's desire for full transparency, especially in the wake of such a high-profile and disturbing global scandal, means that even a remote connection can be magnified and weaponized in the political arena. The situation is further complicated by Mandelson's continued, albeit behind the scenes, influence within the Labour Party and his recent appointment as ambassador to the United States. The appointment of Mandelson to a high-profile diplomatic role, despite his known controversies, signals a choice that, while perhaps strategically motivated, also carries a reputational risk that the party now finds itself managing. The ongoing development of this story will ultimately test not only Starmer's leadership and communication strategy but also the Labour Party's ability to control its own narrative in the face of persistent scrutiny. The political optics surrounding the Starmer-Mandelson connection and the lingering shadow of Jeffrey Epstein highlight a critical aspect of modern leadership: the burden of association. For a leader like Keir Starmer, who has built his public image on a foundation of integrity and a commitment to restoring standards in public life, any perceived link, however tenuous, to figures embroiled in such egregious scandals can be profoundly damaging. It undermines the very bedrock of trust he seeks to establish with the electorate. The public's memory of the Epstein case, fueled by ongoing legal proceedings and documentaries, remains vivid and highly sensitive. This means that mere proximity to someone who maintained ties with Epstein, even if that person expresses regret, as Mandelson recently did, can trigger a cascade of questions about judgment, values, and the ethical compass of those at the pinnacle of power. The challenge is further compounded by the inherent difficulty in dispelling rumors once they take root in the public imagination. The absence of evidence is not evidence of absence mantra often takes hold, particularly in an era of heightened cynicism towards political elites. While Starmer's team might believe that ignoring the rumours is the best course of action to avoid legitimising them, this strategy risks ceding the narrative to his opponents and to the ever-churning online rumour mill. The vacuum created by a lack of direct and transparent communication can be filled by speculation and even outright misinformation, allowing damaging narratives to solidify. This is a crucial test of Starmer's leadership. Will he adhere to a cautious, traditional approach, or will he recognise the need for a more proactive and decisive intervention to protect his public image and the Labour Party's credibility? Ultimately, this situation goes beyond individual reputations. It speaks to the broader issue of public trust in political institutions. When figures at the highest echelons of power are even tangentially linked to controversies of such a disturbing nature, it erodes the already fragile confidence many citizens have in their leaders. The constant demand for transparency and accountability is not merely a media-driven phenomenon. It reflects a deep-seated public desire for clean governance and a sense that those in power are held to the highest ethical standards. How Starmer navigates this delicate political tightrope, between defending an ally and unequivocally distancing himself from the taint of a global scandal, will be a defining moment for his premiership and for the future trajectory of the Labour Party in British politics. The current swirl of rumours surrounding Keir Starmer and his connection to Peter Mandelson, and by extension, to the notorious Jeffrey Epstein, presents a multifaceted crisis for the Labour leader. The fundamental issue is not any proven wrongdoing by Starmer himself, but rather the damaging power of association in contemporary politics. Mandelson's well-documented relationship with Epstein, including his continued contact even after Epstein's imprisonment, is a key instigator of this controversy. This connection, viewed through the lens of a public deeply distrustful of elites and increasingly demanding accountability, inevitably raises questions about the judgment of those who maintain ties with such figures. The fact that Mandelson is not merely a peripheral acquaintance but a long-standing influential figure within the Labour Party, and reportedly instrumental in Starmer's ascent, intensifies the scrutiny and creates a direct, if unproven, line of inquiry towards the Prime Minister. The political landscape is unforgiving when it comes to the Epstein saga. The sheer depravity of Epstein's crimes and the vast network of influential individuals allegedly connected to him have instilled a profound sense of public outrage and a desire for absolute transparency. In this emotionally charged environment, even a distant or indirect link to an Epstein associate is enough to trigger alarm bells and fuel suspicion. Starmer's team faces a formidable challenge: how to address these swirling rumours without inadvertently amplifying them. The traditional political playbook of never complain, never explain is proving increasingly ineffective in the digital age, where silence can be interpreted as evasion and allows conspiracy theories to take root and spread unchecked. This strategic dilemma is particularly acute for Starmer, who has sought to project an image of integrity and stability, and who is still working to solidify public trust in his leadership. Furthermore, the timing of these rumours could not be worse for Starmer. His premiership is in its early stages, facing significant policy challenges and the constant pressure of public expectation. Any distraction that undermines his credibility or shifts public attention from his government's agenda is highly detrimental. The opposition, naturally, will seize upon any opportunity to cast doubt on his character and leadership, and the Mandelson-Epstein connection provides potent ammunition, however indirect. This highlights a broader challenge for political parties in managing the legacies and ongoing influence of their long-standing figures. While seasoned strategists like Mandelson offer valuable experience, their past associations can also become liabilities, especially when those associations are with figures as reviled as Jeffrey Epstein. The public's appetite for clean governance and ethical leadership means that even the faintest whiff of impropriety, or perceived poor judgment through association, can have lasting and significant repercussions on a politician's standing and their party's electoral fortunes. The ongoing narrative around Keir Starmer, Peter Mandelson, and Jeffrey Epstein exemplifies the profound impact of negative association in politics, particularly in an era of heightened public skepticism towards authority. While the absence of direct evidence linking Starmer to Epstein's criminal activities is repeatedly emphasized,